Honey, what are you thinking?
Good morning, good evening, good. What else do we have? Maybe good afternoon. Might be any of those three. If I miss another one, let me know. But I hope you're having a good one. It might be morning, even night, whatever it is. I hope you had a great one. And welcome to another Questions Ladies Wanna Ask podcast. I'm your host. I'm always your host. Jobs. And I got a pretty awesome question coming in today or tonight. It goes something like this. I'm basically getting down to business, right? Yeah, let's get down to it. Something like the sexiest things a woman ever said to you. Sexiest things a woman ever said to you. So it could be something like, come in me. Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, but it wasn't that. But I kind of like that too. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, that's just one of them. But yeah, but I'll get to that probably if it's among the list. Yeah, I'll get to it. But in the meantime, I got a different list, and as you know, like throughout a man's life, there are a lot of things a woman will say to him. A good number of them will rank up there as the sexiest. Not all of them, of course, but even though you might have 1,000 of the sexiest things you've heard or been told by a woman, I can only come up with like a short list. I won't make like a very long list because we could keep going on and on and on about the ones that I think are sexy. So I'll just try and group them, like basically just have a shorter list of the top, the one that I consider, because the topic is not sexy things, it's the sexiest things a woman ever said. So, or women ever said. It's not one person, could be different ones. So here, I'll just go through them. So I recently asked a friend the same question, and he was pretty funny. Like the sexiest thing she ever told him was "come inside me." That's the one he told me. Another said she told him she couldn't wait to feel him inside her. Haha, yeah. So yeah, a good number of them revolved around sex. I had a hard time trying to find something sexy that a woman had said to me. It's more like most of the women I've dated were not big on saying sexy stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but when I do think about it, most never really said crazy stuff. Mostly sexual, which of course helps to make it into this list of the sexiest things a woman ever said to me. So I'll just list several of them right here and explain them a bit just to put them in context, right? Because if I just go right ahead and just say them, it might not make a lot of sense because you need the context, like how did it happen, where did it happen. If I don't put it in that kind of situation, like so that it makes a little bit more sense, you might not get it. So I'll just explain maybe the time, the environment, the situation, or what led into it or up to it. And let's get going. Number one, sexiest things a woman ever said to you. To you, in this case, it's me. So I had invited a girl who I had only met her like a few days. So I invited her. I met her a few days in the city. We connected like instantly, sexually more than romantically. We weren't necessarily interested in a relationship. It kind of worked out since she was just visiting my city. Yeah. How did I talk to her? Well, we were walking like basically in the streets with a friend. Approaching her, she was on the other side. I was on the opposite side with a friend, and she caught my eye from a couple of meters away. So I told my friend like, "Yo, look at her," and I let him know I'll be talking to her. So he just cracked her up. He found it a little bit crazy, like stopping somebody while you're walking in the streets and just talking to them. Yeah, because naturally he's a little bit shy, and he found it a little bit strange, like you're stopping a girl in the middle of the street. Are you serious? Like I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. So once we got close enough, I had already been ogling at her, and she smiled. Maybe she found me cute, or it was just the guts that she found impressive. My guts, like stopping her in the streets and all that. So, but something made her like crack up. So when we got close enough, I stopped and she stopped too. The smiling helped that I was smiling and she was smiling. I'll talk about the smile later on in a different story. So we exchanged numbers, and a couple of hours later, I invited her to come visit, me like at my place. Of course, we talked a little bit over the phone and all that. So she was busy on that day, great, since I was busy too. But she'd visit on the third day, which was great since I cleared up my schedule, I made enough time and all that. So while on that all, she popped a question that I found extremely sexy. Now we are actually on the sexy part. Maybe it was the way she asked, but her voice was seductive, very sexy. So the question was, what do you want to do to me? That was the sexiest thing she said. Did you get that? It was like, what do you want to do to me? So I cracked up at how she called me out. Like, she cut through the chase and asked why I wanted to have her in my place. And I had to think fast, getting something to say back as fast as I could. Well, to just sum it up, she visited and I did what I did what I wanted to do, just as she asked. Good times. I hope you got that. So the sexiest thing she said in that case, it was, what do you want to do to me? Which kind of caught me a little bit off guard because I didn't expect that question, because obviously I was inviting her and you know what I was looking for. So she got me. She knew what I was looking for, what I wanted. And she wasn't afraid to call it out. Alrighty then, moving on. Question is, sexiest things a woman ever said to you, or in this case, to me. Number 2. Sexiest thing a woman ever said to me. This was another beautiful lady, but we were of different religions, so basically we different beliefs. That was nothing to stop me. She was one of the most beautiful, maybe sexiest women I ever dated or to date. So she had a nice pair of glasses, tall, almost my height, and had one of those beautiful behinds. You know what I'm saying? Like, extremely beautiful. But, so apart from the beautiful face, icing on the cake, she was the kind of woman I'll be like crazy over heels for the rest of my life. Of course, her personality was a huge contributing factor. Alright, I'm saying a lot. So to sum it up, I was visiting a friend and had met her in a nearby college. It was a college. Although I didn't know, until she mentioned later that she was actually taking classes there. Well, the sexiest thing she said was she was going to convert from her religion so we could get married or date, whichever she thought first. But excuse me, her point was she'll convert, change from her religion to mine, just so we can date. Obviously it would be marriage, because she wouldn't be changing just for dating. So she had just about graduated. That's how much we felt right for each other and all that. Well, something happened. I had a fling who loved acting the fling I had at the moment. She was kind of crazy, acting like my girlfriend and all that. Although we knew we were just flings, we had the boundaries, but she went overboard. That's why I used the word crazy. I don't know what's up with me. Let me take a drink. That's better. Alright. So, as I was saying, the fling took my phone. She basically borrowed my phone, and I never had a problem with that because we were fling, so it wasn't anything serious. I didn't expect nothing. So she found my new interest, the lady I just spoke about, the one who wanted to convert from her religion. She blocked her everywhere she could. I never realized, and by the time I knew what she was up to, it was a little bit late. So I tried getting back to her, calling. It wouldn't go through. So yeah, she had basically been blocked, and maybe she sent her some crazy stuff. I never quite knew about all that. So yeah, I tried reconnecting with the flame. Went to the college, but she had graduated because I was obviously in a different city. I had moved out. By the time I was coming back, she was not there anymore. So she had gone back to her hometown. place that I didn't know because we never got to know like which specific place she's at. I might know the city, but cities are big, cities are huge, cities are massive. So I'd have gone and found her, but I couldn't. So there went my convert girlfriend or convert wife to be. I still miss her magnificent behind, but that's how she left. So the sexiest thing she said was she'd have converted to date, basically to date me or to get married. That's number 2 on the sexiest thing. Number 3, and moving on, I mentioned smile before, right? We said we'd get back to the smiling. So, well, one of my previous girlfriends used to tell me that my smile was beautiful. She would, however, tell me that it was probably the reason I'd been in the panties of a good number of beautiful women. I don't know where she gathered those statistics, but maybe she was a dime, but probably because she was a dime piece herself, so maybe she just assumed I got it easy because of the smile. I don't know much about the smile, but she said it was probably the reason I got her too. So the sexy thing she said was, that smile will not get you any of this. Should I say that again? This is number 3 on the sexiest thing a woman ever said to you, or ever said to me. The sexy thing was, that smile will not get you any of this. But a few minutes later, we were definitely getting it. So yeah, it worked. If the smile was the secret portion or the secret solution I needed or the secret sauce, it definitely worked. Not that I ever knew much to do with it. Like I didn't know that it's supposed to be a weapon or something I can use to get in her panties or all of that, but it worked. I didn't know I was using it. Obviously, we were friends, smile and all that. So I found out she especially loved my smile. Still warms me up all over. Kind of feels awesome. Smiles are supposed to be warm. So if you're feeling cold, try and think about a warm smile at someone. It will probably warm you all up. Melt you up like butter. All right. Number 4 on the sexiest thing a woman ever said to you or ever said to me. I might stop repeating the question so many times. It feels like I've done it already a couple of times. But if I don't repeat it, some guy said, oh, you went so far in that I forgot what the question was. I forgot what the point was. I don't want you forgetting it, because if you forget it, you'll not be able to follow through. So remember, it's about the sexiest thing a woman ever said. Don't forget it. All right. We're on to number 4. Oh. On number 4, I almost forgot this one. This from a previous girlfriend, so I can't remember what we heard, probably on radio or on TV, and she reminded me in her own words. It went something like this. Unlike you, you're always... Wait a minute. Unlike you, oh yeah, we heard something on TV. It was a movie. I think it was a movie or something. So the lady was complaining because she was breaking up with the dude. She said, oh, but you're always asking me like... No, the guy complained. The guy was complaining that he was never like coming in her. So he was complaining, so they were breaking up. Yeah, something like that. So she said, unlike you, you're always coming inside me. So it was sexy hearing that. It was sexy hearing like her tell me that, and I still love her to bits. And moving on, I've mentioned coming inside twice. Man. All right, number 5. This time I won't repeat the question. It's just sexiest thing a woman ever said to me or ever said to another person. So number 5, another lady. Actually, she's among the ones I just mentioned. Realize I'm not using any names. No, I'm not going to mention names. Not even fake names. No, because I might mention someone and say, oh, I know. Oh, are you referring to me? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Even though you might know me, even though I might know you, that's why I refrain from using names. So she once called me late at night after she said she had just like gone through a breakup and all that. And believe it or not, being the good guy I am, I went and picked her up. So we spent the night in my place, basically on my bed. Since we had never done anything and had been purely just friends, we never played around, never messed around. So we just chilled. Imagine like, so she's at my place, we spent the night, but any gentleman, any man, when you know she's just gone through like a breakup or something, of course you'll try to keep your hands as much as you can to yourself. So the basic hugging and cuddling, no problem, but that's as far as it went. So it was already pretty late, and I just tried to be a gentleman. That's why, like, I just brought her home and we chilled. I even slept in my pajamas, like, instead of just a t-shirt, which I preferred. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable just in case, so hands off. I held her all night, but never made a move. She was a damsel in distress, and I thought I should just do that. There was no, like, basically I couldn't make any move. Let me put it like that. So I just took care of her. I assumed when you have a friend in need, that's what you do. So we chatted for a while, watched something in bed, then fell asleep. So next morning I left early, of course, 'cause I had to go. So after letting her know, like, I'll leave, but of course she was very comfortable at my place and she'd be leaving later, so I just left her back. She'd close down later when she got ready. She needed the rest and whatever, because I needed to get up earlier. So later during the day, she sent me a text after she left my place. And it was much later. She definitely slept in. All right. The text was the sexy part now. Now I'm on the sexy part. Because remember, I have to put it in context so you get it. So the text was the sexy part. The text she sent. And it went something like this. What a gentleman. I brought you free, pussy, and you didn't want to have me? Man, think about that for a minute. So much for being a gentleman. Unfortunately, she traveled and it took a couple of long months before we got another chance. But this time around, after those long months of waiting and whatever, I was less of a gentleman. Believe that. Alright, I hope you got that. Number 6 on the sexiest thing a woman ever said to me. Number 6 is, your fingers are sexier than what most girls have. This one, it doesn't need a lot of context. So she said it while sucking one of them in the morning. She was sucking one of my fingers in bed. So after she said, your fingers are sexier than most girls have, it was quite a compliment, right? Not everybody hears that they got such sexy fingers. So after that, I put a lot more effort into making those fingers look as sexy as fingers possibly can. Yes, I did. All right, moving on to number 7. Sexiest thing a woman ever said to me or ever said to somebody else. But in this case, it's just me, because I'm the one answering the question. So number 7, it was something like, I want to go to your house. Can I go to your house with you? Can I repeat those two? It was 2 questions, actually. It was 2 statements, but they were the sexiest thing here. They come in the form of a statement. There were 2 of them. So number 1 was, same person, same situation, same time. I want to go to your house. Number 2 is, can I go to your house with you? Just to put it in a little bit of a context, it was in the evening. We were hanging out with some friends. So she was kind of new to the group. So I kind of asked her, don't you have your own? Of course, I was asking jokingly. Not like, don't you have your own? No, not really. So she said, I do, but I want to go to yours. Awesome. So this actually happened in Asia, and it was an exchange program. So one of the ladies said this in front of everyone else in our group. We were different groups from different programs, so an exchange program basically. So I was a little bit taken back by how open she was, especially with the stereotype that Asian girls are generally shy. Truth be told, I had imagined taking her to my apartment, which she referred to as my house. So while she was talking about my house, what she meant was the apartment. Hope you got that. What was the sexiest thing about it? It was, I want to go to your house, and can I go to your house with you? Awesome stuff, especially since it was a base. We had just interacted for a couple of hours with the whole group. Moving on to number 8. My throat kind of got better after I took a sip of my water. It was a little bit of warm water. Kind of helps. All right, so number 8. Sexiest thing a woman ever said, it was something like, that's my butt. You get that? That was the sexiest part. Just that statement. That's my butt. So I gotta put it in context so you know what I mean. So we were slightly drunk. I veered a little bit off. Still, she didn't mind. Excuse me. So she was giving me a heads up. I went to the wrong hole. So she had to let me know, hey, you're at the wrong place. Yeah, so that's my bad. She told me that. If you didn't get that, let me know. I'm very much free and willing to clear it up. Number 9 on the list of sexiest thing a woman ever said to me. So number 9 is a fling. As for a recent picture of mine, so when she got it, she said, "That's my new wallpaper." Just in case you're wondering, yes, she put it as her wallpaper. So kinda nice, right? Kinda nice and kinda sexy. She wanted a photo or a recent picture of myself, and when I sent it, she used it as a wallpaper. That was number 9. Kind of sexy when she said. So what was the sexy part? When she said, "That's my new wallpaper." Found it sexy. And number 10, missing you a lot. That's number 10 on the sexiest thing. The statement was missing you a lot, like you emphasize on the lot. Yeah, so just so you know, all we did when we met up, this was a fling. Every time we ever met up, it was always just nice, awesome sex and more sex. So you kind of get what she's missing when she says miss you a lot. It's not actually me, it's the sex, basically. And we were not in a relationship, just have always been like awesome friends. Yeah, friends. Those kind of friends. When you're not dating, you got friends. So I had been a couple of thousand miles away for a couple of years, so she had really missed me or whatever she said she was missing. So just like I had missed her or whatever it was I said I was missing. Kind of cleared that up, right? All right, moving on. Wait, do I have any more? I think I'm trying to remember any more, but unfortunately at the moment I could only recall those 10. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Number 11. Yeah, one more. We can try one more. Number 11. It was about that time of the month, and she told me, that time of the month for the ladies, yeah, the menses, the periods, almost approaching. So so what she told me, to put it in context, it was about that time of the month. So coming on to the sexiest part was, so she told me, you have hours before I get the monthlies. Well, she was giving me a heads up, like you got a couple of hours to get it, to do your thing, or for us to do our thing before the menses set in, because once they set in, hands off. And well, I used that early notice well enough and got down to business before the menses came kicking in. I beat them to the punch, basically. Yeah, or we beat them to the punch. And with that, well, I'm just about done. No worries. Should I recall a couple more, I'll put them up as well. But until then, keep saying sexy stuff. Also, share some of the sexy stuff you've heard from guys and girls. I'll read them in a future podcast. All right, I can push maybe one more. Yeah, number 12 came to me just like that. Yeah, does it? Yeah, it fits in here. It's all right. I can just quiz it in here. Number 12, and definitely the last one. It goes something like this. A lady who we just started kind of dating, although her religion didn't allow sex before marriage, and she strictly adhered, like she strictly followed the religion because they're not allowed to have sex. So, yeah, she really meant to follow it, and I was not like about to make her break her vows or religion, whatever the rules they have. So this meant she needed to stay a virgin until she got married. She knew how much I wanted her, so she told me, "You can have my ass, just not my pussy." Well, you know how that goes, right? I know you know. Now, come on, you do. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna stop right there. That's more than enough for today. And that's a lot of sexy stuff said to anybody. I'm sure some people probably have more of those. You might have maybe 20, 30, 40, maybe even 100. But I think at 12 is not too bad. So if I actually sat on and tried to remember all of them, I might have a couple more. And I can make sure that I compile a little bit more of them and put them in there. But I might not put them in this podcast. I might just put them in a different one. But we still got a couple more questions to answer. So I can put them in a different one in a future podcast. Let me know. And with that, we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a day. We're going to call it a morning. We're going to call it an evening, whatever you're having. And I hope you have a great one. I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye.